Teen Titans Go has been one of the most controversial animated shows in recent memory. The Cartoon Network series has been terribly received, with many people seeing it as a poor substitute for the original Teen Titans series. In this video, we'll take you through some secrets about the show that Cartoon Network would rather keep hidden from you. We made this video in collaboration with our good friends at CBR. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It's the best way of keeping up to date with all of ScreenRant's great new videos. A poorly defined world. Back in the day, DC animated series tended not to cross over with each other. They all aired at the same time, so keeping up with which character was where would have been extremely difficult if they were jumping between shows. You'd never see the Teen Titans turning up in a Justice League cartoon, for example, because it wouldn't make sense for Cyborg to be fighting alongside both teams in different locations simultaneously. However, since then, DC shows have tended to cross over with each other, and that can often result in confusion regarding timelines and regarding who exists in the same world as who. While the potential for crossovers is certainly exciting, having Teen Titans Go crossing over with other shows hasn't been well received by staunch members of its fan base. They've pointed out that the crossovers have resulted in a number of plot holes, and that certain characters have been depicted with very inconsistent personality traits. Regardless, the show continues to expand its universe with crossovers, so the writers don't seem to care what the fans think. Jason Todd's ashes. In Teen Titans Go, the Robin we see week in and week out is Dick Grayson, and he has a pretty dark secret. In a room, there's a big display cabinet that has a number of different ornaments, photographs, and trinkets, one of which just so happens to be an urn containing the ashes of another Robin, Jason Todd. That's a pretty morbid thing to have in a kid's cartoon. Even worse than the urn was the crowbar laying against it, the murderous weapon the Joker used to kill Jason Todd with. Ouch. If the truth be told, it's not really worth getting angry about, but superhero fans can be an angry bunch to say the least. Sneaky adult references. Teen Titans Go features a number of sneaky adult references, but given that it's clearly aimed at children, the jokes fall flat, and the ones that are caught by parents who happen to glimpse at the screen cause uproar. A prime example came in a scene in the Lazy Sunday episode. When Cyborg and Beast Boy were being lazy on the couch, a strange cloud of smokes form around said couch. It was quite obviously a reference to the cloud of smoke that typically forms when people are using certain drugs. And when you also consider the associated laziness and the fact that Cyborg and Beast Boy had the munchies at the same time, it was clearly all suggestive of the same thing. That's not the only sneaky adult reference in the show, not by a long shot in fact. One of the most controversial examples came when Cyborg and Beast Boy were preparing food in the kitchen. Cyborg could clearly be seen beating his meat, which is, of course, one way of describing, let's call it self-pleasuring in the adult world. Children wouldn't have noticed the reference, but adults certainly did, and it's not really the ideal thing to be included in a kid's show regardless. Adult jokes. As well as subtle adult references, Teen Titans Go has a lot of jokes and inclusions that are far from subtle. To have jokes of this nature in a show clearly aimed at the very youngest kids is actually quite shocking. One such example came when Beast Boy sung about Raven, and the green hero suggested she didn't know what to do when she went to the bathroom. And the time Raven's alter ego, Lady Legacy, put the villainous leader of the Hive 5, Gizmo, in a very suggestive hold called a scissor slice. While kids might not get the adult reference in the name, it was still visually quite inappropriate. There are also butt jokes en masse in the show, and countless other scenes that involve adult imagery, even if they are presented in a fairly innocent way. The fact is, there's just no need for them. All of this takes away from what the Teen Titans are supposed to be about, and it's running the needless risk of getting a huge number of parents angry. The banned episode. Obviously, when it comes to making an animated show, the creators have to work ahead by quite a long time when it comes to the production schedule. On November the 13th in 2015, that fact came back to haunt Cartoon Network when the Teen Titans Go episode Salty Codgers was aired. The episode aired at almost exactly the same time as the tragic attacks in Paris. The plot of Salty Codgers focused on the Teen Titans dying of old age, with Raven confronting death to save her pals. After the episode aired with horrendously unfortunate timing, Cartoon Network took the episode off their schedule and banned it completely going forward. There was nothing particularly distasteful about the episode. In fact, it had a lot less inappropriate content than most episodes of Teen Titans Go, but Cartoon Network executives decided to play it safe anyway. Too much airtime. If you're a big fan of Cartoon Network, you've probably noticed something that's annoyed quite a lot of people. Teen Titans Go always seems to be on. It's become so obvious that the channel are trying to ram the show down its viewers' throats that a petition has actually been started online to demand cartoon diversity, instead of replaying the same one over and over again. One theory is that Teen Titans Go is extremely profitable because of its low production costs, and Cartoon Network is taking advantage of that phase. The show often airs 15 times a day, with some single episodes being shown several times in any given 24-hour period. Seriously, on one occasion, it was worked out that 84 episodes of Teen Titans Go were shown in just 1 week, while other shows were aired just 5 times over the course of the same 7 days. If the intention of constantly bombarding viewers with the show was to get them addicted to it, Cartoon Network has got this horribly wrong, because the exact opposite has undoubtedly happened. Ignoring Justice League. Relations between Teen Titans Go and fans of the Justice League were instantly tense when Teen Titans Go was released shortly after Cartoon Network canceled the Justice League cartoon. However, since then, things have only gotten worse. In 2017, the network did attempt to bring the Justice League back with their own new show, Justice League Action, and the reviews for it were absolutely fantastic. And when the schedule for the following season was released, fans were shocked, saddened, and baffled to discover the show was nowhere to be seen. There aren't even any plans for a second season of Justice League Action in place, which has really confused and angered people. Why is the poorly reviewed Teen Titans Go getting a new season when the excellent Justice League Action is being completely ignored? It just doesn't make sense. Something very strange must be going on inside the heads of the bigwigs at Cartoon Network, or maybe they're hiding something from us, because this all seems very off. To make matters worse, there were rumors of a Justice League Action movie, and even that appears to have been scrapped, while the inferior Teen Titans Go had a movie adaptation released earlier this year. Have the Justice League done something wrong? Granted, their live-action movie wasn't great, but taking them off Cartoon Network seems harsh. People hate it. We know that a lot of what's been said in this video so far makes this point rather obvious, but we can't emphasize this enough. People really, really hate Teen Titans Go. Fans of the original Teen Titans show rolled their eyes in unison when this show was announced, and most of them still believe they were right to do so now that it's been on the air for more than half a decade. Those who love it are definitely in the minority, as the vast majority of viewers have been very unhappy with it. There are a number of reasons behind this hatred, and we'll touch on some of them now. The main reason is that it came around when several other superior DC shows were being canceled, including Young Justice. But it's also because it stereotypes a bunch of characters who are usually depicted as being much more layered and interesting. It also lacks continuity, not only in the sense that it isn't a follow-up to the original Teen Titans show, but also in the sense that none of the episodes seem to relate to each other at all. And that's barely touching the surface when it comes to the huge amounts of reasons as to why the show is so passionately hated by so many people who've seen it. Terrible reviews. The show's hardcore fans can say what they want about Teen Titans Go. If they like it, that's great, but the fact is, it's had some absolutely terrible reviews from critics since it first started airing. The internet is full of poor reviews about it. Seriously, do a quick search, and to be honest, in a lot of cases, the negative reviews are very justified. It has a lot of flaws. The worst reviews come mostly from those critics who expected it to be a continuation of the original show, because, let's be honest, it couldn't be more different to it. But in general, a lot of professional feedback about the show hasn't been great. Criticisms about Teen Titans Go include the fact that it really isn't very funny. It's supposedly outright disrespectful to the original source material, it's clearly not made for purist DC Comics fans, and is aimed more at casual fans. It's not positive enough, and it's lacking in life lessons for children, which is a shame given how good certain other Cartoon Network shows are at giving them. However, in spite of all the criticism, Season 5 of the show is on its way, so Cartoon Network clearly isn't taking any notice of the negative reviews of the show, and you kind of have to admire them for that. The movie is what the show should be. While the Teen Titans Go TV series has had a very mixed but largely negative reception, this year's Teen Titans Go movie, which was aptly titled Teen Titans Go to the Movies, was almost universally praised. In fact, it has a 90% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It was released in July and has grossed almost $50 million worldwide to date, with that number potentially rising as it's still in several theaters around the globe. It was actually funny, and on the whole, not so inappropriate in terms of its content. It was almost as if the movie makers knew parents would be sitting down in theaters to watch it with their kids, so they made it more acceptable than the show, which they must assume that kids will watch on their own. The problem is, now that everyone knows there's good content to be made with Teen Titans Go, they're asking why it isn't coming across in the show. The movie has raised expectations that Cartoon Network probably isn't going to meet going forward, so the great movie actually resulted in them shooting themselves in the foot. Then again, maybe they'll surprise everybody, now that they know what the fans want. But maybe they'll bring the kind of content that was in the movie to the small screen. We eagerly await that happening. Check out our good friends at CBR. They have some awesome vids as well. Be sure to show them some love and tell them that ScreenRant sent you. And that's the end of our video. Did you enjoy it? Are you a Teen Titans Go fan? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to ScreenRant for more great videos just like this one. Bye for now.